Good afternoon, everybody. The media guy is back with another fantastic movie review. And I'm going to share my thoughts on one of the most interesting and most heartwarming movies I've ever seen in my life, called Pete's Dragon. Yes, this is one of those old school Disney movies that uses the traditional live action and animation technique. Now, I assume that if you guys are like big Disney fans, you probably would have seen this film countless times before, which I wouldn't blame you. But just in case you guys never heard of this movie, which I probably wouldn't blame you, there's always a description. Now fully restored, Pete's Dragon is available on DVD. A playful blend of live action and Disney animation, Pete's Dragon is a heartwarming musical adventure filled with thrilling plot twists. Pete, a young orphan, runs away from a Maine fishing town with his best friend, a lovable, sometimes invisible dragon named Elliot. When they are taken in by a kind lighthouse keeper, Nora, and her father, Elliot's prank playing lands them in big trouble. Then, when crooked salesman tries to capture Elliot for their own gain, Pete must attempt a rescue. This collectible DVD contains two delightful animated shorts, Lighthouse Keeping, starring Donald Duck, and Man, Monsters, and Mysteries. A fun look at a monster myths, as well as many other wonderful special features. This fun-filled Disney classic, with its Oscar-nominated soundtrack and wonderful story about the valuable of friendship, is the perfect DVD for the whole family. Oh man. The back of the DVD wasn't lying. This is quite a heartwarming Disney movie for everyone to enjoy. Has great characters, an interesting story to follow. Does have a great message about friendship and family and whatnot. And I gotta admit, the songs are quite memorable. And I do like the animation parts, mainly for Elliot the Dragon. Because just like on the back of the DVD, this does use the typical live-action animation style. Mainly for Elliot the Dragon, because throughout the movie, he is an animated dragon who befriends a orphan boy. I'm telling you, whenever these two are on screen right now, they're like the best of buddies. I mean, they're like Shaggy and Scooby, Batman and Robin, Blue Falcon and Dynamite, SpongeBob and Patrick, Sherlock Holmes and Watson. And you pretty much get the drill by now. Like I mean, there are times where it can get a little bit dramatic. I actually feel pretty bad for poor Pete, who has to run away from his horrible hillbilly family at the beginning of the movie. I mean, they're just so cruel to him. I mean, we don't even have to see him. We don't even have to see them torture Elliot, because right off the bat, in the first few minutes, you can already tell that they're like pretty much horrible to Elliot. Sheesh. I mean, Pete. It's not my bad. Somehow I got the names mixed up. And it's kind of. I will admit, there were times where everyone in this town do have their doubts about Elliot being an actual real dragon, because they just assume that Pete is just making it up, when clearly he's not. I guess because at times Pete would end up turning invisible. I guess he has like special powers. I mean, how many people do you know in the TV and movie world who are friends with a dragon? I mean, pretty much not common in these days, especially in the movie world. I'm glad that Nora and her father managed to take in Pete and Elliot as part of the family. And yeah, I will admit there were times where I almost got a little bit teary-eyed. I mean, Elliot is like Pete's big dragon brother. Yeah, even though there were times where they would fight or get into a bit of an argument, they would often forgive each other since, well, Elliot doesn't know any better. He's a dragon for Pete's sake. And you can't expect everyone to be perfect. And again, but Elliot does have a cool design. Since, well, he is an animated dragon after all, who only speaks and grumbles and moans and laughter. Now, sometimes I wish this movie did have like subtitles so that we can understand what Elliot is saying. And somehow Pete is the only one who managed to understand Elliot perfectly. I mean, even though it wasn't explained how Pete was able to understand a single word Elliot is saying, we just assumed that, well, I guess we just had to go along with it, you know? Which I guess that's understandable. And I'm glad we always get a chance to see them share some screen time. And yeah, I know that Elliot the Dragon probably doesn't make that many screen appearances in the movie, but I just can't help but love this character. And he can be very helpful at times, like trying to rescue Pete from the shady salesman and Pete's adoptive hillbilly parents during the climax of the movie where Elliot gets captured by them. Oh man. And Elliot's like, nobody messes with my little friend. Yeah, just remind me to not mess with Elliot at some point. And I did get a little bit almost got a little bit teary-eyed when Pete has to go, because I guess Elliot told Pete that there's another kid in danger. So I'm guessing Pete is like the fairy godmother of children, but in dragon form, helping innocent kids when they're in peril. That does seem a little bit original, having a dragon help innocent human kids out with certain issues. That's actually quite brilliant when you think about it. I actually do like the location and how it takes place in some kind of harbor. Maybe it takes place somewhere in like the shores of probably Maine or something. That's probably my wild guess. Even though I think it does take place in Maine or something. I don't know. You guys might want to tell me in the comments below if this movie takes place in Maine or not. So overall, I honestly think Pete's Dragon is a fun Disney classic for all ages. Even if it does use the traditional live action animation footage style. So, and to be fair, Mary Poppins was probably the first Disney project to do this. Even though the old school Warner Brothers cartoons probably did this first, back in the 40s or something. And I think the closest we ever got to a Pete's Dragon sequel was Elliot the Dragon making a few background cameos in Disney's House of Mouse as well as appearing in the Disney's Once Upon a Studio short film. And I'm guessing those are like the closest we ever get to a Pete's Dragon sequel. Okay, maybe to you guys it's probably not the case, but I'm just saying, House of Mouse and Once Upon a Studio are like technically the closest to a Pete's Dragon sequel. Now, I don't know what the casting crew behind Pete's Dragon are doing right now. I'm not sure if they're working on other TV shows and movies, or probably retired at this point. So again, you guys might want to let me know down in the comments below. Just saying. And it's also not neat that Nora gets to reunite with her husband for a long time after his strange disappearance and out to sea. And I'll give this movie 5 lighthouses out of 5, because that's how wonderful this movie is. So thank you guys for watching my review, and stay tuned for more awesome movie reviews just like this one. Because you never know what to expect these days, huh?